Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game. Today we've got ITS.HAVOC playing as the Danish Jyske division, and he's going up against INickoz playing as the 2nd Marine division. And we're on Black Forest. I was wondering why it felt like I said that really quickly. Let's go through the decks real quick and then we'll get back to the game. Right, so this is the deck review for ITS.HAVOC. He's playing Jyske again. I did cover his Jyske deck before and he's changed it. The issue I always have with these things is sometimes I'm like, oh, you should change this, and it's literally what I told them to not do last time. So I figured we could just sort of compare the decks. I did mention the Panzer Spedjura thing at 1 vet in the M113s. I saw people using those and it goes quite well, so it looks like he's still doing that. Also, he didn't have the Hamlets before, now he does. Because, yeah, the div does struggle against helos, and that was a problem in his last game. Apart from that, most of it's the same. I think the Carl Gustav guys, they've been upvetted now, and yeah, it's Jyske, it's the ethical Danish division. If you play Erster, you're a bad person still. The only thing was, you know, you had some Morati here. That was a one-pointer. Likes his Bofors at 2 vet. Like, you could get 3 more AP if you down-vetted that and still get the same number of Bofors. And then those 3 more AP could be another plane. Because, like, what do you struggle against as this div? Surely you struggle against tanks. Only having 2 fighters is rough, man. I always bring 4. So yeah, you could, like, is it worth having 2 vet Bofors? Or is it worth having 2 more fighters? I personally would rather have the 2 more fighters. Apart from that, you do tend to run out of infantry as this div. These guys went up by 5 points because they're literally just terriers, but they were cheaper for some reason, and they can be vetted, whereas the terriers can't. That was mainly a buff, a nerf for Erster, because Erster has like 3 cards of those, or it has as many as you want. Um, so yeah, now they cost the same because they're the same, right? I appreciate the MG is slightly different, but the Penave's better because you can vet it, you can't vet Terriers. So yeah, I'm not sure what to add that wasn't added last time. I think he had 3 cards of supply, you don't really need that. Um, he's got a lot of tanks. Like a huge quantity. 3-pointer there, you could have infantry CVs instead, or you could, unironically, instead of this, like, it's nice to have a CV tank to put with your tanks and so on, but you could get rid of this and then bring this, because that's a cheap CV, and then you'd have 1 more AP to put in that tab that has the 1 AP slot, this tab, and then you could get your 203s back. Or you could bring like 2 of these vetted, or you could just bring 2 of these vetted, or you could bring 4 of those, because honestly, these days, it's about quantity. I think that's a better shout than having the tank CV, which you're just going to park in a bush anyway, and, you know, this does that job just as well. Switching to his opponent, we've got 2nd Marine. Now, I actually have like a 3-hour long guide on how to play 2nd Marine, which I definitely should have got up before we started the deck reviews. Now I'm going to continue to talk really slowly to try and drag this out. I can't find it, bros. Where is it? Anyway, it's very, very similar to this, and he said he was a channel member, so I assume that's where he got it from. So here it is. Wow, finally, I'll just do a cut here. It's not playing 85 point US. So there it is. So he doesn't have the tank CV because he's brought the infantry CV. So yeah, you can do that. You can do that just fine, right? And have a cheap CV. And you can buy 2 of those at the start for 100 instead of 2 of the infantry ones for 120 and have to constantly load them up and unload them. Not having the Catfay, I think, is a big mistake. I think the Catfay is really good. And I don't personally need 2 cards of Toad-2s. You'll notice I double vet most of my stuff. Double vetting the assault men might be a mistake, but you'll notice most of my infantry is double vetted because I don't need that much infantry. With them being so expensive, you don't really need that much, or at least you can't afford that much. He doesn't bring the regular engineers, so he can get the Toad-2s. You can make do without them if you just spam out the recoilless rifle guys. So yeah, the recoilless rifle guys are down vetted. But yeah, stuff like the dragons and the AT4 guys, I prefer them at 2-vet because they're just so expensive. One change I really don't understand is this swapping out the Lark, which has 10,000 supply, for this. You've already got a card of those. As long as you keep them around and fill them up from the Lark, you can essentially have 2.5 cards of supply. Almost 3 cards, because it's 10,000 instead of, 9,000, which would be 2.5. Wow, that took me a while. Yeah, it is kind of, you do have to micro because you have to buy this and it's kind of expensive, and then once these are used, you have to send them back to this to refill. So, you don't have to do it. And yeah, not having the cafe though is really weird. Do you not want to win? Um, and that's so he can get an extra. Are there any 1 point slots there? No. Don't be so addicted to 50 out of 50. Don't just throw your deck so you can get, wow, look at me, I got a 49. This thing sucks. They're so bad. It's unreal. Because, compare the Super Cobra to the Gazelle Celtic. So this massive missile here goes less far than that tiny missile against helicopters by 700 meters. So against healers it sucks because the enemy healer AA healers will just kill it. But it can be useful as like if the enemy doesn't have AA healers and you're still getting annoyed by his healers. So you can bring it for that reason. But I'd be tempted to get rid of one card of something here, maybe the AT one, but that's nice. The seed one I find very hard to use. It just doesn't seem to work against most people because they just switch it off when they see it. But it's like, you could get rid of that for 2 points, and then that would allow you to bring the Catfay, which is just super good in towns and stuff. I mean, the supply cost is no longer 1,800, so it's worth thinking about. Anyway, let's cast the game. Right, so with that out of the way, I don't really like Second Marine in 1v1 at all, because its units are quite expensive, it sucks against helicopters, and its late game isn't that great because the tanks don't have the range. The tanks are pretty cool in that they've got very high pen. One of them does. I'm sure we'll see it in the game. So, yeah. Jyske is not that amazing either, frankly. But its units are more cost effective. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think the TOW2s on second US will one-shot any tank Jyske can bring. So that's a big deal on this map where most of the fighting seems to just happen here. So, yeah, looking at the deployments, looks like the fighting's not going to be happening there because we have... These go to 130 kilometers an hour. So you want to put like one over here, although he's got something for that. One down this way so that you can make sure they don't get here before you, because you don't have airborne forward deployment, you've just got recon deployment, but this one goes 130. Oh, you get 4, apparently. I thought you only got 3. Guess I'm stupid. So yeah, typically you'd put one here. You'd want it not on this road, I guess, because now it's not going to go the right way, but whatever. So yeah, he's going for Charlie. He's got some fav things. It's just a 50 cal Jeep thing, right? And then he's got a Lav, some Force Recon. That's going over here. The Lav is going for Charlie. And... what? Wow, he's got like no backup for that. So 250-point CVs, right, for Alpha and Echo. I presume there's a second one here, yep. So what's the plan here? You're going to attack with some machine guns, or what if they have one anti-tank? And he gets these recon tanks as well, so... yeah. And then backing it up with, like, so a Stinger round here? Like, why? What? So it can kill one helicopter and then die. I mean, you can, yeah, feel free, but I think you'd have been better off sending a fav thing round the side, not sending the rest here, and, you know, making this push better, basically. Yeah, and then for the other push, we've got a bunch of Stingers, Force Recon, a couple M60s, Gunners, which are like cheaper infantry, we'll get into it. The Assault Men, which he's brought in the expensive transport, so it's going to take a while for them to get there, but they are very good. He doesn't have the Cat Fey in his deck, which would have been super, super, super useful on this map, actually, because you just put it there, and then you just kill everybody in there, so... Switching to his opponent, we've got a much more sort of standard deployment. Basically, blue gets Charlie at the start, and red gets Foxtrot in terms of who gets there first. And blue has airborne forward deployment, and red, you know, we've been over this, so... Yeah, so we've got airborne forward deployment. But he doesn't get good AA. Sorry, good forward deployed AA. I mean, neither does his opponent, but the idea is you can stop this forward deployment by opening with one of those DAS scout things and just killing it. And so you tend to have to open jet on this div, you know, ASF. So yeah, he's got forward deployment. This one doesn't have... No, it does. I'm thinking of the Erster one. Sorry, the Jyske one. So it does have airborne forward deployment, it does have ground surveillance radar, it does have AT, it does have smoke, so it's actually a really decent thing for the start of the game. This is just, you know, more regular infantry. It's decent, I mean, it's just, you only get 3 in a card, and I find that I run out of infantry on this division. So yeah, I only bring 1 card of Jagera as well, because you only get 3, which is a bit silly, really. And then, yeah, some recon tanks, a bit more recon, bit more infantry, including the... So this fires HE at people, as does the small one. This one is better against infantry because it's got more HP, so it can take more shots. The other one's better against vehicles because it's got like an actual AT round on it as well. Well, I'll show you off more during the game. ITS.HAVOC, cheapo CV, let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest levels worth 2,000 views in ad revenue equivalents, while we watch these favs take out this OH thing. So this is why you don't need to send a Stinger all the way around the side, because it's not going to kill a plane anyway, right? In fact, it's probably just going to die anyway. Oh no, I see why he's done it. So the Humvee tow is supposed to be there to shoot things, and then the Stingers to defend the Humvee tow from a helo. You'd be better off just sending this. 70 points plus 40 points, that's 110. And this can shoot helicopters. It's, you know, in an open field it will lose, but the point is you just hide it behind a building or something. It's really annoying. So far so good for red, but not really, because this can kill everything here. The only thing that can hurt it is the lav if it gets like side shots or something. Otherwise it's just going to walk into everything and kill them. You'll notice he's not got auto cover on. Oh no, I see, it's because he switched it off for these units. But you can do with putting these in the buildings. You don't want to lose your... This game's so weird, like, I don't hear that at all. From here, I don't hear it at all. And from here, it's just unbearably loud. I never know what to do with my options, with my audio, because of the way the audio scales. I believe it uses a square root. So in real life, audio scales with the square root of, with the square of distance, right? But in, I think, it might be with the cube. It's not linear, you know. If I go 5 meters away, it's not 5 times quieter. It's like 25 times quieter or something, roughly. You know? So look, the lav did shoot it a bit, but it could have won if it just stuck around and kept shooting. 13 rounds a minute, 60% accuracy. It's only got to hit it once. The lav's got to hit it quite a few times. But hey, he saved the zone. And just imagine if, because like this is a big problem for blue. His tanks have less range than his opponent. So it's going to be, you know, you got to fight for this. I think Havoc has sort of understood the assignment pretty well. In terms of, okay, so I want to take this. The way I take this is by having my good infantry in this. Although he's, I suppose this does have an AT, but not a very good one. But yeah, this is anti-infantry. It's an anti-infantry cargo stuff. And this is an anti-tank M72 law. So, with the recon healer and everything, he's just got a much better early game than... Second Marine is weak at the start of the game. So, honestly, you should have chased that and killed it. But he would have taken a lot of hits from it from the M60, so I guess it doesn't want to. So I would have chased it, killed it. I don't know if that is actually the optimum strategy. So he has gotten around here with the FAVs. Because yeah, Second Marine's weak at the start of the game because it doesn't have any airborne forward deployment, and its units are very expensive. So for the most part, like this Dragon combination is 110 points. 120 points. Why, yes, I do have a PhD in chemical engineering. Anyway. So it takes you a long time to scale up. And then your late game's not that great either. So you're like a very potent mid-game division. In team games it can work very well, but you can see the problem he's having in the early game. The question is, can he stabilize? And the answer's looking like no, because he's not even managed to cap this zone, and he's basically lost it, right? How does he take this back? He needs... Like, this can do something, but... needs to drag the M60s around this way and use them to kill the punks. This is just a Ehrlichen, which is like a Bushmaster, but without the stabilizer. On a Gavin, on an M113. It's really interesting. The UK's got something like that in Berlin Command. It's called FV432 Raden. So it's the British version of the M113. I mean, it is different, but it does the same thing. And the autocannon is the British autocannon. And I was like, it's bad. But because it will die in one hit to the tanks. But if your opponent just doesn't send the tanks to kill it, and just lets all his guys die, and just leaves the tanks looking at them, then yeah, it can work. It can work really well. So as you can see, the M60 should beat the Centurion. Its turret's stuck, by the way. I mean, I guess if he's just shooting at the same target, that's not going to matter too much. But yeah, typically, you know, you want to bring the... Basically, blue should have smoked there, but he was clearly looking over here or something. And red should have brought his second tank in to help. I mean, the fight had ended by then, but... You know, I have to say something. So, yeah, I mean, the Americans have a very good chance of taking all this back. I mean, they should be able to take it back, because, yes, the Carl-Gustav's good, but the SMAW does the same thing, and the USMC Dragon are very good. I bring them at 2-Vec because of how expensive they are. They don't have shock, though, which means that actually this is dealing 20% more damage now. This does have shock. Yeah, shock's really good in forests now, because so it gives you, from what I remember, I might be wrong on this, is he going to send that CVE back, or is he just going to cope? Or he could send this one. Although this is an issue. Looks like he's going, he's just coping. He has bought a CVE. So, yeah, usually you'd put it here, like behind this. And if you're going to have it there, you would have a smoke mortar and you'd smoke. I literally don't play the game without mortars. The only deck I've got that doesn't have a mortar is HDR, and that's because I bring the quickfire 25 pounder instead, and I use it like a mortar. So, as you can see that... So he won that fight, but that's because he spent at least twice as much on units there. Because of this is so expensive. So this is 50, and the one without the thing... Sort of overbuying him a bit here is like, what, might be 50 as well, so that's 100. Oh, he's bought one, so we can check. So that is 45. So that's 95 points, which is only 10 points more than this, and then you've got, you know, another 45, another 40, so no wonder he won that fight. Yeah, so he's unloaded that. Typically, you know when you unload it from a vehicle, the blue expands from where you unload it. So if your enemy has artillery, He's going for the mortar, which is smart. But if he sees where it expands, and it's like a building, chances are he knows where you are. So it helps to unload it at the start of the zone and then go put it where you want to put it, so that that expanding circle doesn't immediately give away your position. The thing is, I think if you don't have a CB in the zone, you don't see the circle, you just see it neutralize. So yes, you should counter battery enemy smoke mortars. I should note both of these players are generous channel joiners, generously joiner in the channel. So it is nice to see people do what I say, such as bring a mortar and such as counter battery the mortar. You'd be surprised at how rare it is. I think most people know the theory, they just don't practice, right? They're cultural smokers. So I can see why he's blobbed them now, because that is pretty obscene damage. This guy is supposed to have 13 HP, and it even killed the gunner as well, which they weren't even shooting at, because he was in this building and he got hit by the splash. That's the issue with the Harriers. I can understand why he went for that, because there were 4 guys in one building, and the ITS.HAVOC hadn't fired yet, so I get it. But yeah, you see the issues with 2nd Marine. And I guess you see the advantages of Jyske. Like, he's actually... Like, he's just got to reverse him, man. You know you outrange him, right? You don't have to put up with this. Instead, he's going to drive over here and get shot. So there goes 65 points, because the transport was 20. People have been pointing out how bad my mental maths is. It is honestly terrible. And I am supposed to be smart or whatever, but... You know, I don't care. I do care and I'm trying to fix it, but it's not so simple, right? The only way to fix it is to practice mental maths while recording, because that will build up my mental maths while recording skills. And so, you know, the suffering is necessary, it's a necessary part. It's the same in Warno. So this is going very well for Blue. He's keeping up the pressure, right? And Red never... I suppose he's got a Humvee tow here, but he needs to deploy it, right? Because it can kill any of these. And I guess he doesn't have one here. He is buying ATGMs, but like I guess he's forgotten about this. He has managed to take this back, so that's going well. But yeah, he's losing out on the cost efficiency argument, right? I mean, his opponent just has way more units. I do like the Fennec being used to help win these tank fights. Like, I'm pretty sure it helped with this one as well, so that's 2 kills for the Fennec. The big advantage of the Fennec is that it has 6 HP, which means it survives a manpad hit, which is why it's on 1 HP, because that Stinger shot at it. And as we've been covering, 2nd Marine struggles against helicopters. So Red's got him back in here, and frankly, yeah, the Dragon 2s are not to be sniffed at. They aim faster now. They aim in 1.5 seconds instead of 2.5 or something. So that was pretty rough. So yeah, credit to Red, he sorted this out. I don't know why he's smoking the corner so that the opponent can drive a CV in. The fuck is he doing? That's bizarre. It's like, here's a spot for your seat. Maybe it's bait. And now he stopped smoking. Oh, he's so intelligent. And now this is just going to be there. The smoke will fade and he'll kill it. Actually, mega brain strat. He does have to bring this forwards though, so he can actually do that. And yeah, you see the efficacy of the Carl Gustav HE. It's basically like a satchel charge that you shoot at somebody from 850 meters away, so you can understand why why that might be pretty good, right? I mean, yes, the satchel does do a bit more damage and a bit more suppression. It's also got 700 meters less range. This also has 0 meters minimum range, which is wrong, really. You can literally have 2 guys in the same building and they'll shoot at each other. Too much Call of Duty Modern Warfare being played here. Surprised Blue isn't pushing this. I mean, this one I wouldn't push, but these 2 you can certainly put there and mess stuff up. You need to buy another mortar as well. You get 6 of them for a reason. I guess because like you might as well buy the counter battery, because you're gonna get, counter batteries immediately. So you need. So let's say you buy a mortar. And the mortar gets killed by... So look, he got the seat. It's actually mega brain plays. Look where it died. And it died there because he smoked it to make it go in. I've never seen such an incredible strategy. To tell you the truth, you know, Jyske struggles against helis as well, because it doesn't get stingered. It gets red eyes. What a shot! How the hell did... Oh, because of this. Now he's celebrating by driving into the enemy and dying. Wow, what a great commander. Can't afford a medal, sorry. So, he's killing all the CVs. So yeah, the point I was trying to make, but I was rudely interrupted by myself, is that let's say you buy a mortar and the mortar gets killed. Yeah. So then, when you buy you buy another mortar, but you buy your counter battery artillery. You set up your counter battery artillery to counter battery, and you have it, you know, it's all prepared, it's set up, and then you start shooting the mortar again, and then like that bozo's bought another mortar, and they'll counter battery the mortar, and then you kill their artillery. So there is a lot more thought that goes into these things, because people say, well, that counter battery button, it's OP. It's not, because it gets you killed, because it just focuses whatever fired last, right? So if you have a howitzer shooting or a mortar shooting, but in this point the howitzer hasn't fired yet, so they don't know about it. So, but if you did, it would just shoot whichever one had fired soonest. So you can very easily bait people with sacrificial artillery pieces. But yeah, in the meantime, Blue's doing very well for them. Oh, the whole other game here. That was an absolutely tremendous loss, because that's, you know, this is like 70 points, and the transport's 35, something like that. So that's a big loss to just drive in and die without recon in front of it and so on. And there's no AA, so a Fennec's probably going to show up. These are kind of hard to deal with if you don't have recon. Let me rephrase that. You need recon to deal with these, because he can't see it, and it's just going to sit there plinking at him and he can't see it. Kind of hard to kill something you can't see. You can arty it. That's a good way of killing it, because it's only got one top armor, which is uncharacteristically low for a tank. Usually they've got 2 or 3. But, I mean, look, he's just... Look, unlike Red, who is not looking clearly. So yes, this is the not Stinger. You bring it at... It's the Fliegerfaust. You bring it at the max vet you can, which I think is 2, and then it might do something. So he's sending the helos over, but there's a Bofors here as well, and you have to be careful of the 2-vet Bofors, because it will kill your helicopter if you get in range. If you just kind of graze the edge and leave, you usually get out, but yeah, it's tough attacking here. I think he would have been... Imagine if all of those units had been here. So, because for whatever reason, Blue is extremely adverse to putting infantry in these buildings. So, if all of that was just here, well, he'd be in. And Blue, he's reinforcing this now, but you know, all this time is just the units that were already there. He didn't even buy a plane or something. So, that's interesting. It just can't see because the building's in the way. So there you go, 3 rocket things will kill a Bofors. I guess that makes sense. I guess that's sensible. Sorry I keep itching my nose, I've got hay fever. That's classic Seed gameplay, that is. Oh, I actually hit it. I guess the missile's like fire and forget, in a way. I mean, it should be. But yes, the Seed missile has less range than the ITS.HAVOC, so... Which is very strange, but I can't see it changing because there's a big kind of lobby against air spam, which is less effective than ground spam. But a lot of people are very bad at dealing with it, and there are divisions which just can't deal with it. So I understand them not buffing air more. Frankly, I think the game's in a pretty good place at the moment. There's only a few small things. I mean, there's like divisional things I would change, like buff certain divs, nerf certain divs. But in terms of the way all the structures of the game interact with each other, you know, until the RT rework, most of the RT in the game was useless, and mortars were only for smoke. So certainly things are good. I try not to compliment Eugen too much because it might go to their heads, you know, you gotta twist the screws. But yeah, I wish I could hear this plane without having to be right next to it, at which point it's just unbearably loud. It is really annoying. But yeah, Red's on the +1 because he's managed to take this back, and he's got this in. Mainly because Blue just really doesn't want to kill it. He's not even trying. Yeah. So this is finally getting healed. Although, yeah, this has been there for ages, hasn't it? All this stuff. I mean, he could... You know, he could push more of these around here, or he could push them here. Right? But if you put them there, well then, you know, they can't shoot you, so... Sorry, the guys here that aren't even there can't shoot you. But also, you can shoot this lot, so it's better than not using it. And yeah, after your stuff shoots, you gotta move it. Priority is for AA, and yeah, mainly AA. After it shoots, you should move it. But ATGMs as well are really good arty targets because they're expensive, and they're very fragile, generally, unless it's like a Jaguar or something. And so that's what tends to happen. So yeah, he's just sort of forgotten about most of his units. And to be frank, so is his opponent. But yeah, he's at least he's got the idea behind I need to just arty the corner and kill the guy. I'm pretty sure he could just see it because of this. So yeah, Red needs a recon there, I guess, which maybe this used to be here and the Leopard shot it or something. So yeah, you see the... So it's 80 points for the AT4 one, which is just kind of ridiculous. And it's just 80 points for 13 guys. And this is 45, so call it 40 for the infantry Penave. You can get 16 guys for the same price as this. And it's across 2 squads, so it's better. Because, you know, not only because of the typical... Wow, things keep happening. They are fighting across 3 fronts, we do have to pay attention. So he's using the Super Cobra max range to just kill the CVs and stuff, it seems to be working. F-16's going in, the Harrier is not really going to be able to help that. Wow. So yeah, Jyske does kind of suffer against healers as well, because this isn't a Stinger, but its planes are much better at dealing with healers than the Second Marine ones, which are in fact a 300 point Tomcat, which is like not the sort of thing you want to send on a suicidal run against against a helo. And it's not even as good at it at killing it as this is, which is, you know, it's got 2 missiles that will shoot at the helicopter. The Tomcat's only got 1. So yeah, he's got in here because the CV here died, if you recall, and the CV here died. Honestly, the way INickoz is using these CVs like that, I think he's gonna run out. Because how many has he lost at this point? He should have 10. Oh, okay, I guess that explains. No, he has 8. 6 infantry and 2 vehicle. The 2 vehicle ones have definitely died. How many infantry ones have died? Many. Many. Well, we saw at least 2 die there. Out of the... So yeah, he has 8 CVs. 6 infantry ones and 2 vehicle ones. So it is a lot, which explains why he's using them the way he's using them. But you do still run out if you play like this. So yeah, it would have been cool to see Red have like a TOW2 here at some point. Or even try and put it in the building. Because yeah, it really messes up these Leopard ones. But I think attacking wide as Second Marine is a really bad idea. I do it, but I shouldn't. It's suboptimal to do so. Because, well, your units are expensive, and you suck against helicopters. So think of, like, your AA is like ITS.HAVOC, which aren't very maneuverable, but they've got a big range. But as you can see, they can't cover this. And your other AA is Stingers, which aren't very maneuverable either, and, you know, it's not like a like an Avenger Paras or something, where it's very mobile, shoots the helo straight away. No, it's got to unload, it's fragile. The helo can just duel it and win in a lot of cases, so it's got to rely on its stealth. Not sure where he's going. You notice he got it out so it doesn't get arty, so it's very intelligent. And this should be... it's just out of ammo. So you want to... the way Second Marine works, and I have a very long guide about this, is that you want to basically attack a front and just grind that front down, right? And defend on the flanks. And, you know, by all means, raid on the flanks, but just send a lav. Just send a lav around the side, right? The lav recon, yeah, down there, across here, round the back, shows up here, kills a bunch of stuff and dies, right? But don't be attacking left, then attacking mid, then attacking right. The whole point with this div is to grind an area. And you have good tools for that. I mean, I'm on about Second Marine. In terms of what Jyske's good at, Jyske is a div where you can kind of do that, because at least you can... I mean, you do struggle against the helos, but you've got the Bofors, which... it's not self-propelled, is it? So yeah, you do also struggle against the helos, but your units are a lot cheaper, and so if you lose them, it's not a big deal. And your tanks have the max range. You got the recon tanks, you got the forward deployment, and you've got more cost-effective jets for, you know, if a helo shows up, you can chuck an F-16 at it. Chuck in a 300-point Tomcat at it. Most of the time, it won't die anyway, because it's only going to fire this. So yeah, Second Marine doesn't really want to play wide. And imagine if he had the cat fave, right? These kind of fights, imagine if he was just fighting here instead of trying this extra stuff. So this has smoke, which he did pop actually. And he's buying the tanks that don't have 23 pen. So... that is a problem. And you notice he's using the smoke so that the ATGMs can't fire. Because if they could, these would all be dead. Because it one-shots them. So it makes a lot of sense, right? Look! So the smoke is useful. And as you can see, he came outside of the smoke, at which point the Leopard should all target it, but he keeps target switching, I guess. The Seed is not facing the right way, so it's not going to shoot. And if it... yeah, now it's just... the Bofors evac'd it. But even if it had flown there, it would be too... if you get too close, it doesn't shoot either. So they've got a lot of problems, seaplanes. But yeah, the two Bofors evac'ing it. I suppose there were two there, and they have been buffed. But yeah, the CV died. I really do wonder how many CVs Red has left. It can't be that many. It can't be that many. So yeah, this should be... oh, he's going for the IHawk, which, yeah, you should move it after it shoots, because it's very expensive. IHawks are particularly vulnerable to this because they're towed, whereas a Cub is... it's on a track, so it can actually, you know, you can react in time if this were to happen. It's a bit more survivable, but the IHawk in particular is, like, the juiciest target for artillery in the world. These do get one-shot by IHawks, but it's got 30% ECM. So he surrendered. He might have run out of CVs, to be honest. So ITS.HAVOC, rank 275. I will check the CVs. INickoz, rank 146. So CVs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he should have had 2 left. But I guess he just figured too far behind on the kills. And to be honest, he was. And yeah, so it was a really interesting game. I do hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I'm not like, yeah, cool, but I don't want to disturb my neighbours too much, so... yeah, hope you learnt something. Have a lovely day.